going on? Gobble, gobble, everybody. Yo, Diddy gonna be in jail. Diddy gonna be in jail eating on some dry stuffing, tofu, turkey, and literally thinking about where he went wrong. Y'all, I know the rats and roaches in Diddy's jail is mad. He probably haven't given them a moment's peace since he got there. Y'all, listen, justice came through. We have the judge's order. Diddy staying in jail. And baby, when I say this judge read Diddy down, you know what? Apologies to the judge in the case. He literally put Diddy and his team in place. Let them know that he clocked their teeth from the beginning, took in all that evidence, and called out Diddy for being a liar, being a threat, and being a danger, a menace to society, if you will. Y'all, congratulations for the arm of justice moving. I know we had some doubts about that judge, but baby, he came through. He let us know. I might have been only on the bench for 2 years, but baby, please don't ever doubt my resume. Pretrial services, the judge, and everyone. The judge has issued a scathing ruling from the bench, guaranteeing every single thing that we ever thought about Diddy is true. Diddy ain't getting out. He will spend the holidays and it looks like the rest of his life in jail. Let's get into this. If you guys are just joining, Diddy has been denied the third time. The judge that we were all looking at, like, what's up with the judge? What's he doing? Baby, he clocked in. He went to work. He let Diddy know, I see everything you're doing. And guess what, baby? Not on my dime. Now, this is actually very, very scathing because if you don't know, Diddy's team was getting cocky. They was right. I have all the judges at the judge's ruling. We're about to get into that. I also have what Mark Agnifilio, Yana, wrote the judge and the prosecutor's office actually clarifying, saying this mug ain't never getting out. I will say one thing. Diddy's lawyers were so shockingly arrogant. They shrugged their shoulders at the fact that Diddy had lied to court, that they had submitted false information. They shrugged their shoulders at the fact that Diddy, unbeknownst to the court, recommended one of his co-conspirators for his at-home prison, Club Fed, if you will. They laughed at the fact and shrugged. Your Honor, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, let's move on at the fact that Diddy was violating the Bureau of Prison phone calls. When the prosecution brought up, yo, you know, this fool said on Friday he had stopped using that little WhatsApp, message to text. And we just know, just leaving last night, he was using it. And there's somebody else. His lawyers were like, anyway, Your Honor, are we going to get to this bail? The judge hadn't even issued his ruling. Hold on, y'all. Hey, I'm on live. What's up? Bye. The judge hadn't even issued his ruling. And Diddy's lawyers were literally talking about, yeah, Your Honor, anyway, we're having the security company come through, the security guards, they're checking out for cameras. The fact that these people were so arrogant, and I bought it for a second, to think that a menace to society was going to be released to a 3-bedroom Upper West Side apartment, or Upper East Side apartment, and we can't even control you. Listen, let's get into these documents because hats off to the judge. His scathing rebuttal to Diddy's arrogant, insane requests. Chef's kiss. The judge agreed with pretrial services, agreed with the prosecution. He cannot be controlled. He cannot be handled. But do you know how psychologically insane? I'm just waiting for a few more of y'all to come in, then we're going to read the documents. Do you know how psychologically insane Diddy has to be that while all this is going on, you just got caught lying to the court. You just got caught not following Bureau of Prison guidelines. You just got caught buying people's minutes, lying to the Bureau of Prisons, making them play cat and mouse where you're lying to them about who you're texting, who you're emailing, and they're running after you talking about Diddy. No. Do you know how insane you have to be? That after you said, okay, Your Honor, fine, but I stopped, and your lawyers verified in court, under penalty of perjury that you have no more access and you're not using the Text Me Now app, and then you go back in jail, and Sunday night, the day before your bail hearing, the last hearing you have to get out and be a free man and spend the holidays with your children, those children you love so much. Happy birthday, Daddy. We love you. Ah, happy birthday. Right? Your last chance at freedom, your last shot. All you had to do was straighten up, fly right, and not lie. Be a man of your word and do what you say you did. And you still defied, still lied, still reached out on an unauthorized account because you're going to do what you want to do. You're P. Diddy. Don't you know I run this city, send the cops to the DA, the feds to come get me. You're Diddy. You'll do as you please. Do you understand the psychosis of how mentally unhinged you have to do? That is like you being arrested for shoplifting. And they bring you to the police station. And the sergeant is trying to decide whether they should book you for stealing or not, right? And while they step out the room to see if they should actually book you for stealing, mind you, you on your last strike, you get booked for anything else, you're going to jail for years. This is your last chance. And then they're like, yo, let's step out the room and decide whether or not we need to prosecute him for shoplifting. And while you're out the room, you go into the sergeant's desk and start stealing pens out of his desk, going through finding change, opening up his little Snicker bars on the in his thing, eating the Snicker bar, balling the wrapper up, leaving it on the floor. Do you know how insane somebody has to be? That even when this is your last chance and all eyes are on you, you still choose to lie, to cheat, to conceal, and to try to influence. Baby, that's one thing. Diddy's lawyers are so worried about tainting the jury. They forgot that the jury tainting goes two ways. The feds are not tainting the jury, but they forgot that the public is watching. They forgot that the judge is not stupid. Low key, I forgot the judge isn't stupid because I was just like, what is the judge doing? Baby, the judge clocked in. The prosecution clocked in with that last legal brief. Now, let's get into the bail being denied again. The judge read it down. He went point by point by point, telling us that Diddy is no good, okay? He went point by point by point. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Everybody's celebrating. He went point by point by point, let us know. But let's look at the shocking letter. Diddy's team literally thought they had that judge wrapped around their fingers. And this is prime Diddy. I do believe that these lawyers can't control them. And Diddy is running that team because as soon as he thought he had the judge wrapped around his finger, they got arrogant. They got cocky. They were literally sitting there. Look at this letter that they wrote. This is the last letter. And honestly, if I was a judge, as soon as I read this letter, I was like, the level of arrogance. Now, the judge hasn't even said whether he will approve, what the conditions are, anything. Diddy's lawyers thought because the judge didn't call him out on lying in court, the judge dismissed that evidence. The judge did all these things that looking back, I thought was questionable. But looking back, the judge was just sitting there like, let's see how much you're going to hang yourself. The judge was sitting there watching like, look, you really gonna lie in my face? Let's see how deep you take these lies. The judge had Diddy's team thinking he was a fool and was under the spell. And before he even issued his ruling, they wrote this. Dear Judge Subramanian. How do you pronounce his last name? I have to look it up. We're gonna put some respect on this judge's name, baby. He gave us Thanksgiving, Christmas, everything. And they said, Dear Judge Arun, Yana, this short letter is in response to the governor's letter yesterday. One, they tried to play the government because the government clocked in and gave like a 17-page letter on why Diddy shouldn't be let out and bought the gods of case law and dropped it in there. Remember yesterday, if you were on my lives, I was like, yo, the feds clocked in. They clocked in. They gave us what we wanted. So they tried to play the feds, thinking the judge was on their side. Diddy if you listen to this, and most likely you are on somebody's burner account you shouldn't be on, guards, he got the phone again. But if you are listening, I would be so worried. Why? Because your whole legal team misread everything the judge was doing. Now, don't get me wrong. I misread everything the judge was doing too. But baby, I'm not being paid $180,000 a week to put in stupid motions while Diddy is sitting there probably torturing and throwing stuff at all the rats and roaches and trying to like kick them and choke them out because he don't got any humans to do it to. I know he putting those rats and roaches through hell. Diddy seemed like he one of those kids that be burning wings off of bugs and stuff. I'm just saying, there's something wrong with that man. There's something wrong with it. When Diddy's mom said sometimes that he can't tell the difference between the truth and a lie because blah, 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 blah. I thought that was just Janice putting 20 on 10. And I still do believe that was Janice and part of Diddy's thing because everybody thought, yo, they going to love my mom. Diddy, do you expect us to love your mom and respect her as an elder when the last time we saw her was on live when she was bragging about being able to put two hands down on the floor flat? Ping, 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 throwing back shots while she kissing her son on the lips. I'm sorry, Diddy. Your mom doesn't seem like a traditional mom. No disrespect to Mrs. Combs. I'm just saying, did you really think that we were going to keep your mom as like this maternal love figure when at the end of the day, after that video, we were like, did she lead you astray? What is going on? Right? But I'm now beginning to see that there was some truth in that video. Diddy don't see reality. It's unhinged, and someone that doesn't see reality to even understand the circumstances. I know when Diddy got out, he probably had like a hit list. He had a list of everybody, and he was gonna make everybody pay. And he probably had a few numbers of people that take him to the coast of Cuba. Anyway, this is the arrogance, and this is why Diddy should be worried. His team misread the judge so much. They do this for a living. They are paid the big bucks. His whole team got it wrong. And don't get me wrong, we weren't in the court. We weren't in court. Okay. The court reporter was giving unbiased, whatever, the live tweeting, but they were in there and they should have picked up on the judge's energy. And they didn't. Yana, this short letter is in response to the government's letter yesterday. The fact that you put the short letter, that was shade. Basically being like, the government's yapping, Your Honor. They yapping. Your Honor, I know you had a 17-page thing from the government. Anyway, we got the security stopping over in 10 minutes, Your Honor. Your Honor, the short letter is in response to the government's letter of yesterday and updates the court on one issue discussed at Friday's conference because they were also trying to assert power. Your Honor, the government's yapping. There's only one issue at play, and that's whether the detention unit is secure, right? The defense is located, and they tell about the place. It's redacted. This is an important safety measure that better ensures the safety of Mr. Combs, Your Honor, and the security detail and others. We've attached several photographs taken on November 25th of the building, Your Honor. Y'all, the level of arrogance and the level that he misread. You misread everything the judge was thinking and feeling. Baby, I don't get paid $180,000 a week. If you guys hit subscribe and like, I might. And I'll share the love, right? I might if you guys hit subscribe and like, but I don't get paid $180,000 a week. If I did, I would have been on that judge. I would have had like Miss Cleo out of retirement throwing down some tarot cards, somebody with a crystal ball. I would have had their preacher, their imam, their rabbi, whatever their religious denominations are. I would have had them sitting in the court too saying, what you think? What you think he feeling? You think he upset? You think he buying this? I would have had every person from psychological forensic profilers. Instead, you got Mark and Agnophilia, Shapiro and Rico. Yana, the short letters in response. As we believe, Yana, the only issue brought up on Friday. So anyway, right? We're about to get into what the judge said. It's really good, but I have to give you, we're flipping to the prosecution letter now. So the prosecution letter jumped in really quick. This is before the judge made his decision. It's really quick, and then we're going to get into the judge's decision. The prosecution jumped in after they saw that. They said, you know what, Mark? You know what? They was like square up. square up, square up. And then they got Shapiro and they like, we hit women too. Come on, square up. You talk about what happened Diddy and Cassie did was a complicated love and relationship. Yeah, we about to show you we love you, Diddy Sal too. Come on. And they metaphorically put their palms up and was like, listen what they say. Dear Judge Subramanian, we got to put some respect on his name. He came through. The government respectfully submits this letter in further response to the court's inquiry during the November 22nd, 2024 bail hearing regarding the regarding whether United States v. Bassani can be applied to Diddy's case. Okay, and to his proposed conditions of release. After reviewing the transcript, the government recognizes that it may have misunderstood the court's initial questions. To clarify, as set forth in the government's opposition briefing and at the hearing, this is when they were like, "You gonna stop playing with me?" They said, the government is seeking the defendant's detention based on his danger to the community, including a serious risk of obstruction of justice he poses, as well as the defendant's risk of flight. Because the government does not seek detention based solely on risk of flight, relying primarily on his personal wealth. Okay. They said, as the Second Circuit in Bostani clarified, Sabhami? I think that was a Gitmo case. Sabhani applies only in limited circumstances where the defendant is deemed to be a flight risk primarily because of his wealth. The conditions proposed by the defendant are therefore barred under Bosani, as they amount to a two-tiered system which is precluded under the Bail Reform Act. The government sincerely apologizes for any inadvertent miscommunication to the court in response to Your Honor's question at the hearing regarding the issue. They said, "You won't stop playing with us. You knew what we meant." Diddy's lawyers didn't care. They literally said they have security people at the place now, fitting it out with cameras, doing this, doing that. You don't worry, Yana. Yana, we got you. Y'all, listen, let's get into what the judge said. Literally. Anyway, Diane Matthews, what's up? Said, Tisa, you're the best reported. Thank you for keeping us informed. Oh, thank you so much, Diane. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Holly W said, peanut butter and jelly for Thanksgiving supper. Holly, Diddy ain't even getting peanut butter and jelly, baby. He getting some old, I was going to say some stovetop stuffing, but no lie. I love stovetop stuffing. Listen, my mom, take the stovetop stuffing. Shut up. The stovetop stuffing. Chop some celery, some onions, get some brown and served beef sausages, cook them, take the oil, pour it in stovetop, chop it up, take some Hillshire Farms beef Polish kibelski or whatever sausage, put it in there. Oh, it is so good. It is so good. I can't wait. Cleanback Sneakers said, hear that, Diddy? We eating good. Meanwhile, we're also going to go into Diddy's Thanksgiving menu, which, honestly, it actually makes me sad for people that are wrongly convicted, that this is the suffering they have to go to. But Diddy ain't wrongfully convicted, so we can delight in that. Clean Black Sneakers, thank you for being a member for 5 months, said, I bet that lawyer is blank. He hears you. Yeah, Yana. What are you doing? Mark Agnafilio, Shapiro, Rico, you added new lawyers. Thought you was, and here's the funny thing though. If Diddy had just calmed the F down, if he had calmed the F down, right? If he had calmed the F down, he might have actually gotten out. But baby, blood always shows, the leopard always shows the spots. Baby, a hit dog is going to holler. Now, strictly boxing news, where you at? Oh, Marsha. Listen, Clover84 Nickel, thank you for being a member for 2 months. Said, now Diddy about to snitch. Plays. Diddy, I don't know if he wants to snitch. Because are you going to get the Epstein special? Marsha Yeager, thank you so much for becoming a member. Audrey, woo, thank you. You said likes are free. That's right. Hit that like button. Strictly boxing news. Yo, thank you for sending a super chat to say some dumb shit out your mouth. Strictly Boxing News wants to say, shame on you celebrating the prosecution of a brother. Diddy's been excommunicated from the Black community. Okay, I do not consider him a brother. He is not my brother in Christ. He is not my brother in anything. Baby, the fact, listen, and we are celebrating, and I hope you feel stupid, Strictly Boxing. Thank you for the super chat. Let me go. Um, Let me actually, should I block you? I'm gonna block you because, you know, thanks for the super chat though. Um, where are you at? Here you are. Anyway, before I block him, he said, same when you celebrating the persecution of brother. I think you're probably a paid bot, but can paid bots and super chats? I don't know. But baby, we are celebrating the persecution of a violent offender, a brother that preys on not just our community, but everybody's community. And at the end of the day, he's been excommunicated in my mind from the Black community. He is not a brother or whatever you want to call him. He is a cold, ruthless person. And the fact that you are willing to stand by evil because evil got the same skin color as you. And at the end of the day, you delight in the fact that somebody that reminds you of yourself and who you really want to be if you weren't just clocking in at your shift at Kinko's after you left your Amazon. Let me stop because ain't no shame in working at Kinko's and Amazon delivery, baby. Let me shut up before God humble me. I might be working there next year or next month. No shame in making an honest living. But I see that you wanted Diddy's violent delights, and now you mad they got violent ends. Stop telling on yourself. Stop telling on yourself. Thoughts and prayers to whoever that man is dating. Thoughts and prayers. Anyway, Super Christian Me World or My World said something to be thankful for. Girl, Diddy is still in jail. He is still in jail. And also, Lady D, thank you so much for the super sticker. But I will say that anybody else that wants to talk trash about me, please send a super chat. I will address it. Okay. You can yell at me for a price. Anyway, here we go. Here we go. Listen. Here we go. Woo! The Honorable Judge Arun Subramanian. I think it's Subramanian. Subramanian or Subramanian. Somebody tell me phonetically how to say it. I got to figure out how to pronounce his name. Not that it's hard to pronounce. Y'all know me. I'm very part of the dyslexic crew. Anyway, right? This is directly from his bench. Order number 24CR 542. The order. Defendant Sean Combs renewed his motion for bail November 8th, 2024. The court held a hearing on November 22nd, 2024, and the parties filed supplemental letters on November 25th and November 26th. For the following reasons, Combs' motion is denied. Denied. I know Diddy is mad. I know he probably had, listen, Diddy probably had a Thanksgiving freak off plan. He probably told the kids to go to your mama's house, and they were like, Mama's not here. All right, well, then go to your grandmom's house. And they're like, but grandma gonna be with you at the park. Why can't we come to the dinner? And then he probably looked at his family and said, okay, Quincy, what's the little one's name? Three Apples High. Justin, Christian, y'all invited, but the girls, no, you got to go over to Sarah's house, go to Kamora Lee's house, right? Y'all get out of here. Diddy probably had a Thanksgiving freak off plan. He was probably in his jail, literally. Woo! Stevie J was probably on three-way. Come on,
now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yes? No? Maybe? How long have I been muted? Yo, I need to start paying attention when I'm going in. Yo. Someone called her the good one. I can hear. We can't hear you. 12:35. It's 12:36. Y'all let me talk for a whole minute. Ooh, even more than that. We can't hear Tisa. How long was I talking? Mute. 12:35. How long was I on mute? Sorry, I'm trying to see. Oh my God, was I talking that long with no sound? Okay, we about. Oh my God. Hold on. Y'all can hear me now though, right? God, I talked that long with no sound. That was some. Okay, I talked for 4 minutes. So listen, I was making a joke that. Did y'all hear the joke about Diddy literally in his jail cell, just dancing with the rats and roaches, like, yeah, thinking he getting out? I said, I think Diddy was planning a Thanksgiving freak off. I think Diddy was planning a Thanksgiving freak off. I think he literally was like, bring them out, bring them out. It's hard to yell with them out. Swizzy, bring them out, bring them out. I think he was getting ready for a Thanksgiving freak off. I think he was even going to be like, you know what? It's going to be a Thanksgiving freak off because at the end of the thing, he's going to make everybody do something strange for some change. He is going to make somebody do something strange for some change with that turkey. Because you know Diddy liked to do really, really weird things with the damn turkey. I think that's what was going on. Let me see if I can hook the sound up. I think that's what was going to be going on. Diddy was, listen, you said that dance on mute was everything. I run this city since the cops and the DA and the feds to come get me. Listen, Diddy probably had a Thanksgiving freak off. He was going to do some things that was going to make the turkey blush, and they was all going in with the turkey. Diddy's into some freaky things, and I know he probably got there and told those kids, yo, go over to your mama's house. And they was like, but mama's not here. Well, go to your granny's. And they was like, but granny said she gonna be with you, both hands on the floor, pow, pow, with the white fingernails. And they said, well, go over to Sarah's house, go over to Kamora's house, just go. I said, Stevie J probably called in and was like, yo, daddy can't wait. You know, I like that, daddy. Can't wait to come home. And he probably had, I don't know why I feel like Stevie was like literally the person Diddy probably risked it all for, literally had him on like a 3-way call, playing Faith in the background. Soon as I get home. I think that's exactly what was going on. I really, honestly, truly think that Diddy was planning the freak-offs to end all freak-offs. Baby, Diddy don't got nobody to blame but himself. That's right. Diddy says, saying, I'm going to be the stuffing in this turkey. I'm telling you, do you know a man that had to have freak-offs that much? Do you know he was probably trying to figure out a way to make the rats and the roaches have freak-offs? As a matter of fact, they need to do a screening for the rats in Diddy's cell. What did he do to you? What did he do to you? I know it was something. Think about it. If you can't make, he probably was literally mixing up the little packets and the oodle and noodles, trying to like mix that with toilet water, seeing if this could turn into a great rape drug for the rats and the roaches. Like, yeah, think that. I'm just saying. Diddy is out of his mind. He's out of his mind. And I hope his sons, I would say his sons, those grown men, I hope they feel stupid. And honestly, Diddy, if he was doing this while the jails was watching, he was probably going to go on a rampage. I hope Diddy's kids feel stupid. They don't, because they was raised by that man. And they were literally raised to be loud, obnoxious, which don't get me wrong. Before that, they seemed very, very self-confident and very, very this and that. But now that we know what type of time Diddy's on, they are nothing but like shameless puppets for him. But I was thinking they were running this PR campaign to get their dad out. And now we see that their dad was the one running the PR campaign. Their dad was the one running the PR campaign, using their accounts, having them look like Bobo's the fool. And all they can do is sit there and literally, that means their dad ordered them to run up on Ray J. I hope Ray J feels stupid. I hope Meek Mills feels stupid. You wish Diddy well. I know the prosecution looking at you like, yeah, and you next, Bobo the fool. I know the prosecution is looking at Meek Mills. I just know it. Hold on really quick. Let's see if we can get the sound. to go in again. I know, but we got to try. We got to try. Fine, I'll do 2 inches for my computer so you guys can better hear me. God, stupid microphone. Okay, so anyway, let's get back into what the judge said. Let's get back into what the judge said, okay? I'll worry about the mic later. Okay, everybody can hear me, right? No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Don't worry. I'm here. I am here. Y'all can hear me. Okay, let's go. I'm not going to buy a new mic. Y'all bullied me into buying that one. No, sick of being bullied. I'm just going old school, taking it back into the street. If Diddy can run amok, we going back to old school Tisa. The mini mic. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let's go. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me just get this set up, and then we're going to read the rest of this paper, okay? If you're just joining me, calm down. We get in there. Go get a piece of pie. I know your mom said that's for Thanksgiving, but come on. Have a piece of pie. It's going to be eaten tomorrow anyway. Do what I do. Take a slice of cake and then try to move the icing over it. So then you get yelled at for even messing up the icing. You get yelled at for even messing up the icing. Y'all know what to do. Okay. Let's try this really quick. Let's try this. I have one more mic. Hold on. Let's see if it'll work. One more mic. Let's see if this works. Why, hello? Hello, hello. Oh, I think we're in business. Hold on, guys. I think we are in business. You guys can hear me, right? Okay, this sounds better. All right. And there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, we're back in business. We're back in business, okay? You guys, I'll keep an eye. Let me know. All right. Okay, other channels are having the same sound problem. Okay. You guys can hear me though, right? Do I sound smooth? Do you hear my voice? Okay, cool. All right, let's get into this. All right, let's get into this. Okay. For the following reasons, Holmes's motion is denied. Also, shout out. Thank you so much, Jamie, for giving me a heads up. I appreciate you so much. Okay, here we go. No condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. The court has evaluated each of the factors that it must consider under 18 U.S.C. 3142G. The nature and circumstances of the offense's charge, the weight of the evidence against the person, history and characteristics of the person, and the nature and seriousness of the danger that would be posed by that person's release. The court has also reviewed the information submitted by Diddy and the government. Across all 3 bail hearings in this case, the court finds that the government has shown to be, by clear and convincing evidence, told you they clicked in, that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. And so, in support of this finding, the court provides the following reasons. Now, this is where we get to the nitty gritty, and it's really, really good because at the end of the day, when a judge makes a ruling, they can't just be like, yes, no. They can't be like little dictators. They have to provide the reasoning because the reasoning can be a reason for a mistrial, an appeal, or just give more information. Okay. Where's my, okay, fine. I'll get to work. Okay. 1, where are we at? 1, a rebuttal presumption of detention applies to this case. Even if Diddy successfully rebutes this presumption, which the court assumes here,
It remains one of the factors that the court considers in determining whether the government has met its burden of persuasion. The footnote says whether or not the information submitted by Diddy in his renewed motion meets the statutory standard for reopening a detention hearing. This court exercises its inherent authority to review the entire record to determine whether the government has met its burden in providing that pretrial detention is required. The indictment charges Diddy with serious and very violent crimes. It alleges that for decades, Diddy abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Diddy relied on employees, resources, and influence, a multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in bribery and obstruction of justice. It says that Diddy himself carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten others, including victims and witnesses to his abuse. And notes that during searches of Diddy's residences in March 2024, law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with filed off serial numbers, as well as a drum magazine. Diddy had 3 choppers in his house with filed off serial numbers and a drum magazine. I didn't know that there was a drum magazine. The drum magazine is the thing like Rambo that you can be like, Why did he have that military power in his house? A drum magazine? I smell cartel. Okay, but let's keep going. When Diddy's authority or reputation was threatened, the indictment alleges he and members of his enterprise engaged in the acts of violence, threats of financial and reputational harm, and verbal abuse. These acts of violence included kidnapping and arson. The indictment also charges Diddy with sex trafficking in violation of 18 USC. Again, they go back to 3142 G1, requiring, the court says we are required to consider the nature and circumstances of the offenses charged, including whether the offense is a crime of violence, whether it is a violation of Section 1591, and whether it involves a controlled substance or firearm. Now, the government has presented direct evidence of Diddy's violence. Now, hold on. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Now, the government, let me go check on y'all because this sound keep going in and out. Okay. Okay, here we go. I just wanted to make sure that y'all can still hear me. Now, get this. They said, now the government has presented direct evidence of Diddy's violence. Pause right there because I am so glad. And baby, this is a win for any victim, whether you are a man or woman of abuse, either mental or physical. I wasn't in the courtroom. We couldn't leave the judge. And I think, well, at least I owe the judge an apology because I was talking mad trash yesterday, right? I owe the judge an apology because he saw through it. But it's very real in this day and age that people try, even people in comments, trying to downplay physical abuse. The fact that Mark Agnifilio, that Shapiro girl, the Rico guy, the Garagos girl, walked into a federal courtroom and tried to say that we didn't see one of the most vicious, brutal, violent assaults I can ever remember seeing on a news station of a woman getting forget about a woman, of a partner, a romantic partner, someone you laid in bed with for 10 years, lied together, cried together, did everything together. One of the most vicious assaults I can remember seeing on primetime TV. And they walked in that courtroom and said, Yana, it was love. They had a complicated relationship. Yana, she cheated too with the trainer that my client bought, Yana. I'm surprised he didn't turn around and say, you believe that? Hey, I thought he was going to start calling her, you believe that Jezebel Yana type of woman does that. Cheated with the trainer. What'd you expect him to do, Yana? The fact that they walked into a courtroom in 2024 and thought that we would see violence of that level and somehow say, well, it was a loving relationship. It was complicated. They were both toxic. Yana, Mark Agnafilio, Garagos, Shapiro, and Rico should be ashamed of themselves. I know as a defense lawyer, you do whatever you can to get your client off. But can we just say that it was a very, very stupid thing to do? Very stupid thing. Sorry. Very, not to got me paranoid, my sound keep going out. A very, very, very stupid thing to do. And it was tone deaf. First thing Diddy should be worried about, the fact that your dream team couldn't read the judge and didn't take it. Either they saw it and they were lying to you, so you keep billing them. They could keep billing you, but they really actually didn't see which way the wind was blowing. They didn't see that the judge was sitting there just giving them rope to hang themselves. They literally thought they went into a federal court and stood in front of a federal judge, one of the youngest judges to grace the bench, because he has a very storied past. He is a legal eagle. He is smart as a whip. And you lied to the judge and made a fool of the judge and had the judge rule from the bench for evidence that you knew didn't exist when you demanded an emergency motion. And you still had the nerve to sit there and talk to the judge like he was stupid. Going, yeah, Yana, we have security people coming over at 5 to measure for cameras, Yana. They really thought they did something. Again, you couldn't read the judges. You couldn't read the courtroom. Diddy, you should be worried about that. Not even that. Second thing you should be worried about, the fact that maybe this was your strategy and your lawyers didn't have enough balls to tell you it's not, like, let's think of something else. But also, even if they didn't, the fact that they went in front of the court was such a very shallow argument. It was, they literally said that Cassie consented to that abuse in the video. Back to the judge. The government has presented direct evidence of Combs' violence. This includes video footage from 2016. There is clearly violence, even in the version of the footage submitted by Combs. Let's also not forget that his lawyer stood up in court and said that, what kicking? What dragging? What are you talking about? The judge said there was kicking. Well, maybe, and there was dragging. The judge corrected. They tried to tell the judge in court, Your Honor, what dragging? What kicking? They said the video was doctored to make Diddy look more violent than he was. Because although he kicked, slapped, punched, did everything, literally did the river dance on cat. And I don't mean that to be funny. I mean, it was like a beat down in a film. I would have thought somebody died. Those are the type of beat downs people don't get up from. The one thing they said was he picked up a bass and said it was edited to look like he threw it at Cassie when he just threw it. Okay. Anyway, right? Listen. Anyway, this includes video footage from 2016, where there is clearly violence, even in the version of footage submitted by Diddy. So Diddy took the footage and he edited it and gave it the director's cut and gave it to the judge and was like, look, judge, this is what really happened. The fact that Diddy's so maniacal that after everything happened, you thought that was the problem, throwing the bass. You thought that was the problem. A text message between Diddy and victim one, Cassie. The text message from the hours and days following the 2016 Intercontinental Hotel incident. She said, I have a black eye and a fat lip. You are sick for thinking it's okay to do what you've done. I still have crazy bruising. And then there was other stuff. Nevertheless, Diddy argues that the weight of the evidence does not support a charge of sex trafficking. In his view, it supports at best a toxic, sometimes violent, long-term relationship between Diddy and Cassie. But regardless of whether that's true, there is compelling evidence of Diddy's propensity for violence. And this, again, third thing you should be worried about, Diddy. Third thing, if you're stupidly, well, the bad way and over. Third thing you should be worried about. the fact that that argument was so weak, even if it is true that it was a toxic. And I like the way this judge is going. First of all, don't tell me not to believe my violent eye, my lying eyes, right? It's violent. It's violence. And it's violence second to none. Second of all, even if I go by your whole thing, Your Honor, we had a toxic relationship. That's what we do. She was like, can I go outside? And I'm like, no, bitch. Right? That's what we do. It's love. It was consented. The judge says that even if everything you're saying is true, you show the way you handle things when people do things you don't appreciate. You show the way you treat people that you claim to love and cherish, that when they do things that displease you, you show what happens. And if you do that to someone you love, what you gonna do to somebody out in the street the minute they make you mad? Because you have the money, you got the time, you got the clout, you got the pull. People roll over. Wasn't y'all bragging that you were like a celebrity in jail? You signing autographs tonight, Diddy? Anyway, hopefully maybe they got some turkey oodles and noodles ramen. Do you think they got some holiday? Do they have a holiday turkey flavored ramen? They should. They should actually get like a holiday flavored ramen that, like, Willy Wonka, that when you taste it, you taste the cranberry, you taste the stuffing, you taste the seasoning, you taste everything. I think they should actually make you know what? Oodles and noodles, hit me up. You need a holiday flavored ramen. Anyway, let's get back into this. Oops, sorry. Okay, back into this. There is evidence. He goes into where's he at? Okay, so they say, Diddy, shut up. You literally show that you required the court to consider the history and characteristics of this person, and you did. Oh, this is the last thing I'm going to say where Diddy messed up, right? In court, somebody cannot attack your character. They can only attack what you did. Like, I can't get in court and be like, Nana, he always does this. Last Sunday, unless you bring your character into play. Diddy brought his character and the questions of his character into play because he chose to launch a PR campaign that centered around his character. Christian, I just want to remind everybody about the good things my pop's done. Your pops only made a few hit songs, and me thinks he overestimates just how much those songs were bangers because, anyway, let's get into this. They said there's evidence. Hold on, let me get this off the screen. Lori, let me get you off the screen because I can't see the whole thing. Okay, I'll get into the super chats in 2 minutes. Let me just read this part, and then we're going to jump in the super chats and jump back into. They said there's evidence supporting the serious risk of witness tampering. For example, Diddy initiated. They said, for example, Diddy initiated and had unexplained communication with Cassie. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, not with Cassie. I was supposed to be like, what? With witness one, this is a gentleman who was subpoenaed to testify before the grand jury in June 2024, and in fact testified on July 25th. Diddy was represented by his lawyers during this time, and they have offered an explanation for some of these communications, but they cannot explain them all. For instance, Diddy's efforts to call and text witness one, even after his grand jury testimony, or Diddy's deleted text messages with the witness. They said, and then he quoted, although the phone records confirm that Diddy, using a particular phone number, and witness one exchanged multiple messages from June 2024 through August 2024, there was no such messages recovered from Diddy's phone. Diddy really thought the courts were dumb. He really thought the courts were done. They go on to say, further, Diddy's interactions with witness one are directly in conflict with defense counsel's representations to Judge Carter on September 18, 2024, that Diddy did not reach out to grand jury witnesses. They quoted him. Yana, Diddy did not reach out to grand jury witnesses, Yana. He didn't do it, and he wouldn't do it. This judge said, you're not going to play with me. He said, not only did you lie to me, but you also bold-faced lied to the previous judge. Yo, something wrong. He said 5. He numbered these messes. I know listen, after the way they tried to embarrass him in court and then was talking to him, Yana, you know, the feds were like, Your Honor, he can't go. Like, he can't be let out. And they was just like, anyway, is he using the Bureau of Prisons illegally? I mean, he could be, Your Honor. Yana, don't let him out. This man was probably in his chambers, like, he literally was in his bag. His wife, I'm assuming he's married, or husband, I don't know what people are into these days, right? We don't judge. Good for you. But whoever he's with was probably like, babe, come to bed in a second. He probably had all those briefs out, calling his clerks. Email me, Judge Clark. Email me the docket. I'll be in there in a second. Hold on. He was up till 4 a.m. sipping on coffee like, oh, I got you today. He did not appreciate the way they played in his face and literally really was disrespectful to him in his court. But baby, he stayed up. 5. There's evidence that Diddy violated the Bureau of Prisons regulations during his pretrial detention to obscure his communication with third parties. Remember when and again, I will say the judge, he's actually really smooth. Because looking back at the way he was asking questions, he was giving Diddy's team the rope to hang themselves. And baby, Mark Agnafilio was doing the hula hoop with that rope. They was turning around in circles, wrapping themselves up like, this is so fun. Literally, they didn't realize that the judge was just looking at them like, you want to keep lying to me. They were like, in court, Diddy's team admitted that he violated the Bureau of Prisons guidelines nonchalantly. Like that was a thing to do. And everybody's doing it. But I digress. Let's get into this. There's evidence that Diddy violated the Bureau of Prisons regulations during his pretrial detention to obscure his communications with third parties. He paid other inmates to use their phone access code, or PAC numbers as it was, to make calls to those not on his approved contact list. He instructed family members, I'm guessing it's the 3 blind mice, the baby oil bandits, and defense counsel to add other people to 3-way calls so that their communications were more difficult to trace. And he used a messaging program called Contact Me ASAP. He goes on to say, although the court recognizes that the parties dispute whether Contact Me ASAP is permitted or not, the government gives examples of Diddy's communications utilizing these means from as recently as November 4th, 2024. I think he meant November 24th, 2000, or maybe he doesn't. Hold on. November 4th, 2004, directed to efforts to influence the jury pool. Now, around that time, there's been a lot of really fake, clearly dumb, shady stories that I believe are going to be helpful for Diddy and jury tainting. Or to reach out to potential witnesses. The court makes no determination that the content of Diddy's communications through these channels was improper. However, so he's saying, y'all not getting me on mistrial. I'm not going down the road and ruling on whether you should have said or what you said in these communications. Because that's what Mark Agnafilio tried to do. Yana, he was just asking, how baby love, Yana. He was just asking how sweet little baby love liked the nothing abundant cake. Yana, he was just asking Chance how she likes her first semester at NYU. Yana, he was just being a family man, devoted, right? That's what he was asking. But he said, we're not even talking about all that. What we need to focus on is Diddy's willingness to skirt Bureau of Prison rules in a way that will make it more difficult for its communications to be monitored is strong evidence that the court cannot be reasonably assured as to the sufficiency of any conditions of release, especially given that they occurred when Diddy was seeking bail and when he knew the government's concerns about witness tampering and obstruction were front and center. The judge clocked his T. He said, I saw you from the door. He clocked Diddy's T. Clocked it. But this is a good point. Who were you talking to that was so important that even when you are literally going in front of the court for bail and told the court you're not saying it, who was that important to talk to? Who was that important to talk to? No, seriously, who was that important to talk to? Who was he talking to that you just couldn't not do it? What were you planning? Probably that Thanksgiving freak off. I know that turkey. I know the turkey's not alive, but even then, nobody wants a corpse, their corpse defiled, desecrated. I'm just saying. I know that turkey is rested in peace, saying, oh, thank God, been through enough. Anyway, again, it doesn't matter what you said. It shows your willingness to not abide by the rules. Putting you out on bail is a motion of trust. And if you lied to me once, why wouldn't you lie again? And guess what? He slapped the lawyer's hand saying you even had your lawyers helping you lie. So why would I believe a word your lawyer said? They can't control you. At best, they can't control you. At worst, they are helping you actively. They said, where are we? Especially given that they occurred when Diddy was seeking bail and when he knew the government's concerns about witness tampering and obstruction were front and center. Describing Diddy as a serial obstructor, he's a habitual line crosser, citing obstruction as the primary reason for seeking detention. Underscoring the court's concern, despite defense counsel's assurances to the court at the November 22nd, 2024 hearing, with Diddy in attendance, that Diddy stopped using Contact Me ASAP as of November 16, 2024. The government indicates that Diddy has continued to use this service as recently as this past Sunday, November 24th. The court further notes, this is point 6, he in his bag, that it held an emergency hearing this is when he gets mad, on November 19, 2024, to address the government's usage of notes on legal pads recovered from Diddy's bunk during a sweep from the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC. Now, at the hearing, defense counsel advised, Yana, all these legal pads say legal, Yana. Yes, Yana, they're marked as legal. After the hearing, the court inquired why. In light of counsel's representation that the notes at issue were on legal pads that were clearly marked as legal, photographs taken during the sweep, so no such labels. At the November 22nd hearing, defense counsel admitted that it has to be in the case that is the day of the search. Legal wasn't written on every legal pad, Your Honor. And that they were not, and that, Your Honor, we're not sure when the pad presented to the court had legal on it at the time of the sweep. The circumstances of this incident and the misrepresentation made at the November 19th hearing, where Diddy was present. So Diddy can't even lie and be like, yo, my counsel said that. I don't know. No, he was like, you were there. Where Diddy was present, bear on, the judge in his bag. He said, this bears on whether the court can be reasonably assured that any conditions it imposes will be followed, or whether through inadvertence or active subversion, they will be broken and the community's safety threatened. That's right, Diddy, Agnifilio, Rico, Shapiro, Garagos. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. I know that's right. Remember I said, yo, the judge believed a trusted officer of the court. And the trusted officer at the court, at best, misrepresented himself under Diddy's directive, at worst, tried to lie and make a fool of the judge. And he said, this is the first time he's actually called out anything. He said directly. Everything else he said, no, it shows that you're a danger. It shows this and that. They literally said the circumstances of this incident and the misrepresentation made on November 19th hearing, where Diddy was present, bear on whether the court can be reasonably assured that any condition it imposes will be followed, or whether through inadvertence or active subversion they will be broken and the community's safety threatened. He goes on to say, oof, the court assumes that it may consider the bail package that Diddy has proposed, but in Bustani, right? They quote Bustani, we now expressly hold that the Bail Reform Act does not permit a two-tiered bail system in which defendants of lesser means are detained pending trial while the wealthy defendants are released to self-funded private jails. Now he says, however, given the nature of the allegations in this case, it is a sex trafficking case, and bail is not presumptive in a sex trafficking case. Given the nature of the allegations in this case and the information provided by the government, the court doubts the sufficiency of any conditions that place trust in Diddy and individuals in his employ, like the private security detail, to follow those conditions. They also cite another case, United States versus Arena. That case says that proposals at best elaborately replicate a detention facility without the confidence and security of such facility installs. The judge goes on to say, now the court does observe that pretrial services are bought in when bail is being considered. That pretrial services reach the same exact conclusion, noting that the November 22nd, 2024 hearing, that the conditions are insufficient and that there are no conditions that could reasonably assure the safety of the community. Finally, the facts and circumstances here differ from those in Diddy's principal cited authorities, United States, US v. Fox. The Second Circuit recognized the case presented an extremely close call, and that any loosening of conditions or more compelling evidence presented by the government could well tip the balance in favor of pretrial detention. But in Fox, the Second Circuit did not address the risk of obstruction, and the government failed to engage with the proposed bail restrictions. United States versus Jeffries, he also cited, this is another case that they were saying, no, Your Honor, look at Jeffries, he should be left out. Or that case, it should be let out. Said, while the government raised danger, its principal concern with respect to the defendant Michael Jeffries was flight. He had no criminal history. The alleged criminal conduct, which did not involve any kind of violence or RICO allegations made here, abated nearly a decade ago, and Jeffries was 80 years old, while Diddy is 55. Now get this. Diddy's motion for temporary release is also denied. The court also finds that Diddy is not shown, so he was asking to come home for the holidays, that temporary release from detention is warranted. Under this provision, Diddy, a judicial officer may permit the temporary release of a person in the custody of the United States Marshal or other appropriate person to the extent that the judicial officer determines such release to be necessary for preparation of this person's defense or another compelling reason. But given Diddy's access to counsel and documents, there was an issue with Diddy receiving a laptop for the purposes of reviewing discovery, but the court addressed that. The firm deadline for the government's discovery, the end of this year, and the time left before trial, over 5 months, right? Over 5 months. Diddy has not carried his burden of demonstrating the release from detention is necessary for pretrial preparation purposes under the Constitution. But the court will promptly address any issue that arises with respect to Diddy's trial preparation. And if the circumstances materially change, he may renew his application for bail under 3142. The motion is denied. The clerk of courts is respectfully directed to terminate docket 60. Woo! That was a word. That was a word. Diddy was denied bail for the third time. But you guys, there's more. There's more. There is more. There is more. On top of this, let's get into the Diddy thing. Listen. On top of this, it looks like already Diddy's sons, if you're wondering, already crying with the smallest little violin of how a brother is being prosecuted, please, please, please don't put Diddy's name in with the millions, hundreds of millions of good Black men in this fine country. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Because get this, Diddy's sons are now complaining because his sons are banned, because you know they can't afford to buy. They are banned. Diddy's sons are banned from renting Los Angeles party homes after wrecking them. Yo, you know everybody's saying that it's a rap, do-do-do. So just that. Listen, I don't know the words, but we're going to see it's a rap. It is now being reported that Diddy's sons are now having trouble renting homes in LA. Sorry. And they have now that this motion has been denied, Diddy's sons have been banned from renting any property in Los Angeles. Now, let's read this article. It's actually pretty funny. But I will say this. Is this foreboding? What do the real estate market in LA know about Diddy, his boys, and what's about to come? Are they about to get, listen, are charges coming in Los Angeles? I would imagine if I was a homeowner, I wouldn't want Diddy's son staying there either. You know, the feds are probably going to bug the place. It's going to be under police surveillance. It's going to decrease the property value by them being around. But more importantly, is California threatening to bring charges? Are they thinking about bringing charges? What is coming down the road for Diddy's boys that nobody wants to be a part of? Again, Diddy's sons have now been banned from renting homes in Los Angeles. And let me say this, right? Let me just say this. This also could just be them banning the boys, to be fair. Now, this could be a healthy dose of LA racism. If you've ever been in LA and you are around Westwood, Brentwood, West Hollywood, any of the places that like are really, really nice right now, and you walk down the neighborhood and there's like no Black people, you don't really see any brown people either, or they're, let me not make political jokes because y'all don't like that. But my whole point is in LA racism, especially in the richer areas, even if you have the money to pay rent, they don't want you there. I've been there where I've been walking down this street in Westwood, Brentwood, West Hollywood, a beautiful area. And literally, I'm literally walking my dog down the street and literally people have crossed. And this isn't a residential neighbor. I got a dog cross the street to get away from me because they started walking really scared. Grown men, like they thought I was about to stick them up. There is something about LA racism. There is in renting units, and they don't want Black people in the neighborhoods. And if they do, they want all the rent up front and they still act funny. So when I read this, keep in mind, this could just actually be LA rental racism. And anyone from the West Coast knows what I'm talking about. If you don't live on the West Coast and in LA and in the nicer neighborhoods, please stay out of this conversation because you don't know what you're talking about. Please stay out of this conversation. All right. Anyway, let's get into this. But again, they could be banned because they don't want the feds raiding their rental places. They don't want freak offs happening at parties. They don't want a RICO organization being ran. I'll tell you one thing. Diddy really misplayed this. And I really honestly do believe in my heart of hearts that Diddy made sure his sons are going to be indicted as co-defendants in his RICO case. Before, they might have let the kids, like the boys, skate from it and just focus on Diddy. I think by them doing the obstruction, helping, running, and Diddy flagrant, I do believe that Diddy made they're his sons. They're going to be named as his co-defendants. That man, his own ego and pride, you would think if he really loved his kids, he would keep his kids out of it. But through his own ego and pride, you now made your sons catch co-conspirator charges. And even if they weren't even involved in the business, they were helping you carry out the Regal organization from the texting, the three-way calls, and all that stuff. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. Listen, here's the thing. Jamie agrees. She said she thinks Los Angeles neighborhoods are saving themselves from future raids that will be televised by the feds. Justin can go back home to his mama. The girls can stay in Cali. Quincy and Christian have the grandma Kim's home in Georgia. Christian can also stay with his girlfriend in Cali. I don't know. Listen, I can see that, but I'm just saying, LA rental racism is a real thing. It really is. Those neighborhoods, there's a reason why you don't see any black people, no brown people. They're the white passing Latinos. You know, maybe an Asian or two, but you know, they have their own spots that they like to, I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about people living in East LA. I'm talking about living in like the really, really nice parts where rent is $8,000 a month or more for a 2-bedroom. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Anyway, let's get into this. They said when it comes to renting luxury homes for parties, oh, not all the boys, just Justin Combs. Justin Combs, the son of the alleged freak-off throwing Sean Diddy Combs. Damn, who would have thought last year that Justin would be referred to as the son of alleged freak-off throwing Sean Diddy Combs might be locked out of the market. A broker for mansions in Southern California told the New York Post that Justin Combs appears to be following in the footsteps of Diddy, who is notorious for his lavish and over-the-top parties in the early aughts. The company that I work for with rented houses has rented houses to Justin, alleging an LA-based facility for the rich and famous. So this is a high-end real estate broker that only worked for the rich and famous. He would say, yo, I'm having 20 people over, but there would be like 200, and then they would wreck the house. Oh my God, do you think this is a setup for actually saying that Justin is an organizer for Diddy's freak-offs and he's an organizer for the RICO thing? Now, listen, take this in a grain of salt. I heard that in Atlanta, Justin keeps a string of women not dating. I don't think Justin has, does Justin have a girlfriend? It doesn't matter. The point of the matter is, I have heard that some of Diddy's traffic that moves through his residences, that Justin is in charge of that. Now, I'm not implying that he is helping co-captain of the SMEX trafficking. I am saying that it's interesting that this article is showing up in the New York Post saying that Justin's parties are worse than. I remember when Kanye West broke up with Chaney Jones, and Chaney Jones hangs out at the Booby Trap. I think she even had a birthday there or some party celebration, Booby Trap. And the Booby Trap was listed in Little Rod's lawsuit as a place where Little Rod would go to get prostitutes. And he would have to wear a bad boy hat. Everybody knew, yo, that's Diddy, that's Diddy. Funny thing is, maybe those blank workers were like, yo, that's Diddy, hide. And they were like ducking and hiding or whatnot, right? But my whole point of the matter is, I remember that we didn't know that Kanye broke up with her, but they had broken up in Japan and she came back. And all of a sudden, she was real mixy, always out, being coy about whether she was with Kanye or not. Fine, right? And I remember she was hanging around Justin. Everybody's just like, ooh, are they dating? And somebody was like, no, girl, they not dating. But I was like, that's so weird. And then I remember that, was it Justin or somebody? Well, she was chilling. This is why everybody thought she was dating. that she was in a dental floss G-string bikini and she was playing football. And I said, okay, like whatever, right? Like, sure. I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, but I thought that they were dating. But, and the booby trap and the way Kanye like girls that. Anyway, let's move on. Shall we? Let's move on. Anyway, I just lost that thing. Hold on. My phone went dead. Let me get the rest of the story. So anyway, while I'm waiting for my other phone to turn on, I think that's really odd, don't y'all? That now they're setting up the stage for what many people have said, that Justin runs Diddy's operations. He is the CEO of Bad Boy, but let's not forget that Diddy was training Justin to take over. Diddy was training Justin to do everything that Diddy does. So if that is what the organization was really being used for, and Diddy said he was training his son to take over, what was he training Justin to do? Seems a bit odd, don't you think? Ooh, hold on. The other phone's back on. Anyway, seems a bit odd, don't you think? I think so. Anyway, let's get back into this article. I've got a 1% in a prayer. Okay. So then they show a bunch of pictures of Justin throwing shots, sitting there, doing whatever, blah, blah, blah. The real estate agent says, it's gotten to the point where nobody will rent to him. Called me to rent. I told him no. New York Post is the same thing. While there's no suggestion anything untoward has ever happened at any of Justin's parties, he frequently posts pictures of himself pouring and downing shots of tequila and vodka on his Instagram, as well as partying with his dad and pals. Jeffrey Lichman, Justin's lawyer. Oh, Justin got a lawyer? Oh, well, he is. He's being sued because he's CEO of Bad Boy. Pointed out that to the New York Post, Justin has not been charged with a crime or sued civilly regarding any of these accusations for a reason. He did nothing wrong. Says that about your daddy, too. Justin's father, Diddy's celeb-filled white parties, were the stuff of legend, but since a raft of lawsuits against him were followed by his arrest on federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges in September, a darker side to Diddy's parting ways has emerged. The feds claim he held what is referred to as freak-offs, Smex parties where he recorded and encouraged participation via violence and intimidation, per the indictment against them. Now, they said Diddy has denied all charges and has made 3 attempts to gain release on bail from Brooklyn Correctional Facility, where he's currently being held, all of which have been rejected. A video of one of Diddy's wild parties during 2014 for a fellow rapper, Meek Mill, in Las Vegas shows a raucous but legal scene with a naked woman having sushi eaten off her scantily clad dancer. And anyway. Property manager Jason Hyatt told the Daily Mail that at their event, there were broken bottles of alcohol, used condoms, bloody bedding, and lubricant in the dresser. Okay. He described the bedroom as disgusting. Meanwhile, remember we told y'all that Justin's going broke? He still ain't resolved that. Well, maybe he still ain't resolved his Bentley thing. Meanwhile, at least one auto dealer is not thrilled by the younger Combs. According to In Touch, the Porsche Leasing Ltd filed a lawsuit in the amount of $190,000 and over unpaid bills for a Bentley lease by Justin. Oof. Justin's lawyer, Jeffrey Lichman, told the magazine that the missing payments can be attributed to a mailing address snafu that resulted in Justin not receiving the bills. Let me get this straight. You got a Bentley, and you know it's due to be paid every 3rd Monday, and you don't get a bill, so you somehow think you don't got to pay. Does that work for anything? Does it work for the electric company? Does it work for anything? This is the best you could come up with, Justin? Okay. And after he received the bills, you don't seem to be paying. He said the outstanding balance will be paid and the lawsuit will be dropped. This lawsuit was filed in June, We are literally about to see Santa Claus. And you still ain't resolved this bill? I smell broke. Anyway, y'all, again, Diddy's probably holding those purse strings. Again, I don't know what's going to happen with Justin. We don't know what's involved, but if Diddy was training Justin to take over his organization, does that mean he was training him for this RICO thing? I don't know. What everybody got to say? What Ray J got to say? What Meek Mill's got to say? What everybody that was defending Diddy got to say now, right? You sitting there and you ain't got shit to say. Remember what Diddy said to Cassie when she was under that blanket looking scared, trying to hide, and he put her on Snapchat? That's right. You ain't got shit to say, do you, Diddy? It's funny how it's funny how money changes situation. Really quick, let's get into these super chats really quick. Where are we? Oh, Miss Gemini. Thank you for, Gemini, I like that. Thank you for being a member for 13 months. You said muted. Trina said, T said, we can't hear you. Thank y'all for showing me some love and super chatting this. I know you were like, Donna Burke said, you were the first report on this tonight. Who the real hero tonight? LOL. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Donna. A square skincare. Wait, a Suwari skincare. Thank you for becoming a member. The Black Barbie 777. Thank you for being a member for 6 months. Said hi. They're going to have a freak off fest. Diddy, I guess you're going to have a freak off in jail. The only thing is, I don't think those brothers on Cell Block 1 is down with it. I'm just saying, Diddy probably trying to organize a freak off in jail. Wonder what? And you know what? The funny thing is, Diddy trying to organize a freak off in jail. Do you think this is in a weird way that this might actually soothe the demon in Diddy's soul? And the fact that he can have a freak off in jail and he doesn't have to get jealous that the men with the women instead. He don't got to get jealous that he needed to because I think that's why he was hitting on Cassie. A bunch of reasons, but I think he was also angry at the fact that he couldn't. And again, this has nothing to do with Diddy's sexuality because, baby, love who you want to love. But just hear me out on this. I think it was on a certain level, he was very jealous of the women, right? And jealous of the men he took down because that's the way he dominated and showed control and But also when it comes to Cassie and all the women, I think that you knew that you needed to lure the women as bait. Remember when 50 Cent said that Diddy was circulating Cassie's freak off tape? Because the only way they could have gotten it was through Diddy, right? I think he used Cassie's beauty and everything else and those tapes to lure the men in. Yo, you want it? This, and the men like, oh, I can have it, That's so sad what happened to Cassie. But he used to lure men in. But I think another reason he always got so violent and so angry is I've heard they don't call him itty bitty Diddy for nothing, right? And maybe she enjoyed herself too much. And that reminded him that he couldn't do what the other people did. But more importantly, I think that because he's such a look at me, such a control freak, I'm the main draw, no, everybody bow down so I can shine. This is his personality. He wants to be the everything. I think the fact that in situations, he would see that he needed women in order to lure these men in. And I think he started to hate the women because they were a reminder that he has to live in darkness and shame. And even though you could have came out. Look at this. You came out now. Nobody cares. It's the non-consensual part everybody cares about. But now I'm thinking maybe that he's in jail. Maybe that part of himself he felt like he had to hide. He could be out and about in a freak off. But just as soon as I said this, I say, nah. Because one of the reasons that made it a freak off to Diddy was it was non-consensual. And even when he is in jail and he might be surrounded with people that's just like, hey, let's get that party started. He doesn't want that. He wants to go after the people that's just like, no, man, leave me alone. The thing that made freak offs, and the thing that made them illegal was that it wasn't consensual. You know what I'm saying? Wonder Woman, thank you so much for the super chat. Shannon, woo! You said, girl, watch Hustlers and Monster Ball. Okay, I will. Andrea Britt said, I just want to give you your flowers. Girl, you be on these stories. Thank you, Andrea Britt. Thank you. And thank you, Shannon. I am going to watch Hustlers. I want to watch Monsters Ball. I heard that was very disturbing. Silk Nice said, T said, Thanksgiving freak off got me dead. You know that turkey is like, thank God my corpse won't be defiled by Diddy. Anyway, Buxo4 said, I wonder what his jail cell looks like right now. He probably flipped the bed, sheets all over the thing. The mice and roaches are in the corner, like this mofo, like they on the wall trying to inch over. Like they on the wall trying to inch over. Like, oh my God, he lost his mind. Literally, they probably just like running. He flipped that cot, probably kicked over his oodles and noodles. Probably so mad. You just be hearing him go off. I think that's what his cell looks like. He probably lost his MF mind. He might have even started cursing everybody off, and the guards literally had to pull out their billy clubs and rush in there to teach him a Thanksgiving lesson. I swear to God, let's see now that they've been exposed for the PR campaign, if they're going to have a Thanksgiving call. Daddy, we love you. Because one thing I do want to know, the Bureau of Prisons is on Diddy's ass, and I'm sure he already went through his 300 minutes for the week. Probably because he even thought he was getting out. Deidre Dorsey, thank you so much for becoming a member. Woo! Assure Skincare said, isn't it funny that in that video when he said, tell them, yeah, I run this city. Tell the cops, the DA, the feds to come get me. Yes, he wore a jersey with the number 24 on it, and it's now 2024, baby. This is a Greek level Shakespearean takedown. B Crumbs, y'all. Thank B Crumbs for gifting a membership. Paul Harrison. What's up, Paul? Say, hey, Tisa. How's my beautiful sister doing? What's up, Paul? Tisa, I need you to email me a Thanksgiving plate. Turkey, stuffing, sweet potatoes, and corn. Let me tell you something. And you better tell Mama Tells to email you a plate. If I could, I would. We're going to have my mom stuffing. We're going to have lamb. We're going to probably, I know everybody's into homemade pies and all this stuff. Baby, I was raised on Mrs. Smith's apple pie, peach pie. You put that mincemeat pie or that pecan pie, put that bad boy in the oven for about 35 minutes until the center a little jiggly. Take that out and plop it on with some Cool Whip. Please. Baby, I was raised on some Mrs. Smith pie. Y'all can take y'all $50 handmade crust pies. Baby, once a year, give me those preservatives. Give me that crust. Mom, pop those bad boys right in the oven. Maybe have a cherry pie that everybody touch once all the other good pies are gone. A pumpkin pie. I don't mess with pumpkin pie. We're going to have that stovetop stuffing mixed with some brown and serve. We're going to have a rack of lamb from Trader Joe's. We're going to have some Asian. So we're going to have some crab legs for our Thanksgiving. Everybody that comes just tells everybody what their favorite food is. And then the person cooking, we're going to have some greens with some turkey necks in it and some apple cider vinegar and honey. My mom's specialty. It tastes so good. It's like sweet, sour, but kind of smoky. So we do all that. And so basically everybody's favorite foods are on the Thanksgiving table. I do not cook. However, I go and usually go to Trader Joe's and rate I'm not going to do it this year, but I'll do it for Christmas. Christmas Eve, I rate Trader Joe's and I literally throw down a giant tablecloth on a table on the side. And I make a giant wedding charcuterie board. I am known for my charcuterie boards. My presentation is chef's kiss. And literally every time the person cooking, they always get mad at me because my charcuterie board is so good. Everybody gets full off of it. And then we eat the dinner a little bit, but then the next morning, that's when we really go in. Anyway, Paul, if I could email you a plate, I would. Everybody give Paul some Thanksgiving love. Love Joy said, thank you for all you do for us. He said, Love Joy, no need to thank me. I love it. B Crumbs, thank you for gifting 3 memberships at this point. Y'all if you were gifted a membership, shout out to B Crumbs. YM Droid said, can't wait to see the video of Baby Love. Yes, a Baby Love dressed as a turkey, but looks like Diddy is only getting his stuffing in jail. Maybe the 3 Stooges can join him. Yo, Diddy had that on. That's a good one, YM Droid. Diddy had that on his to-do list. Her dressed as a little cute turkey. To my daddy, I love you, daddy. Yo, the fact that it was staged, how many times did you think that they had to teach baby love to say, I love you, daddy? That's why they were like, go on, say it. That's why they were looking like that. Catgirl226 said, Happy Thanksgiving, Mom, from me and my cat, Boo Boo. Woo! Shout out to Boo Boo. B Crumbs, thank you for gifting 4 memberships. Also, KG, happy Thanksgiving to you too. Potato Gun Camper said 2025 is a year of sentences for all these monsters. I know that's right, Potato Gun Camper. LA Young, thank you for being a member for 1 month. Berlina Quieros, thank you. Ooh, roll those R's. Berlina Quieros. As soon as I said it, I messed it up. Verlina Quieros. Woo, thank you so much for that super sticker. Lose said, you're so real and goopy, Tisa. Absolute best Diddy coverage on YouTube. Justice for all those victims. Thank you, Luz. I appreciate that. Shannon, you said, oh, really? Oh, and Monster Ball, he dies by electric chair. What happened in that movie? I just heard that Halle Berry had a weird scene. I was like, I don't want to see her like that. But he died in the electric chair? Diddy? You think Diddy watching Monsters Ball? It's movie night for Thanksgiving. They let them watch a movie. Just Hope One said, take his money and then block him, love. You loved it. That's right. My daddy taught me right. What's that old saying I saw on Twitter? They said, what did they say? You can always tell. Well, you know what? No, I mean, I say that. But anyway, they were saying, like, don't nobody curse you out. Like a woman that grew up with her daddy in the house. These incels be talking about, oh, that's why you this and that. You ain't got no daddy, baby. Who you think taught me? Who you think taught me that you wasn't ish? Who you think taught me to block yourself? My daddy, that's who. Who do you think taught me to walk y'all like the dogs y'all are? My daddy, please. Okay, nobody curse a man out like a woman that had her daddy in the house all her life. The ones that be like, no, I wouldn't think. Give them some space. My dad taught me you better walk these dogs like they are when they want to sit there and act, baby. You want a hit dog will holler, you go, Wait, is it no sound again? Yeah, exactly. Listen, you better let them know your daddy the one sitting down. What's that boy saying to you? Your daddy is your first what? And again, don't get me wrong. People's mamas treat them too. Shout out to the single mothers or the single fathers. But that thing that the manosphere has this thing that the reason why women won't submit is because they don't got fathers in the house. Baby, our daddies raised us to be warriors. That's how we know that they are soft as hell and marshmallows. Because it's like our daddies raised us to be more men than y'all are. I'm not talking about the actual men. I'm talking about the manosphere, the people that think they the real men. Our daddy talk about, listen, if somebody's a leader, right? If somebody's a leader, the leaders don't be like, no, you better follow me. The leader don't be arguing. It's just like your daddy. Your daddy don't be arguing in your face and that. He just lead and you be like, okay, let's go. A leader, but again, we're not going to get into the manosphere things, but I'm telling you, that's why these manospheres don't like that. The funny thing is, even when they say, oh, because you don't got your daddy in the house, first of all, that's not a drag. It don't matter whether you were raised by a single mother or father. It doesn't at all. You can still like it doesn't matter. But I will say, that's why they be like saying this and that. You didn't grow up in a father in the house, and that's why you don't know. Maybe your daddy gives you your mouth. Your daddy gives you the backbone, right? They give you the backbone. The daddy teach you to walk these dogs like you need to. Not to men, but the dogs. You want to play in my face, baby? Let's play. Let's play. Let's play. So listen, you guys. Hold on. Let me do this really quick. That's right. My daddy always said, take his money and then block him. That's right. Yes, I can support myself. Yes, I can pay my own bills. But you're going to pay them too. Right? It's love. Right? Anyway, let's get into, listen. Somebody says it matters big time if you were raised with a father in the house. I agree. Listen, it's not the point of having a father. It matters big time if you were raised with two loving parents. But if it wasn't two parents, if you were raised in a healthy, loving environment with masculine and feminine energy, it really does matter big time whether you were raised by love. It does. So I think when somebody says, oh, so it doesn't matter. You just need to be raised in love. It don't matter who's giving the love. You just need to be raised by emotionally mature people that are loving. And that is the best start at life you can get. However, and I will die by this, when I listen to the Charleston Wrights, the internet people, the this, the that, it shocks me how many of these people I can tell you ain't never really seen a dad in the household. You don't understand the way men love, respect, and admire their female daughters. You don't understand the way women, like girl dads, that thing of pride when they see their daughter curse out a mofo that's testing them. You've never seen a dad more proud when they see their daughters be like, you ain't running that game on me. Girl dads love that. And to think that there's any man that wants to raise their daughter to be a dog and lie down like a welcome mat to some mofo disrespecting them, playing in their face. You think a man raised his daughter, that loves his daughter, that raised his daughter for some mofo on a date when he's supposed to be courting her, and looks across at her and says, what you bring to the table? You really think any man that's been involved in his daughter's life will raise his most perfect princess, his crown jewel, to be someone's doormat? Get the F out of here. Y'all don't know men that love their daughters. I know you might know men that have daughters, but you don't know the way involved fathers are with their daughter's life. That's their perfect princess. I'm my daddy's perfect princess. He raised me to be a fucking Viking. Fuck what you heard, please. And then the look of pride whenever I start slitting people's throats when they playing with me. That, like, you just, so for people to be like, oh, I really honestly feel that women that make a lot of excuses for men and feel like men that need to be babied, I think they don't have if you grew up with an actual involved dad, you would know, baby, I don't need you to protect me. I'm the man. I protect you. I don't need you to roll out for me. My job is to protect you and to raise you to be strong. I think that's what it is. There's just a difference between, they somehow think that if there's men in the house, that every man's going to be like them and raise their daughter to be a bottom B, because that's what they're going to do to their daughters, raise them to be bottom Bs. So in your mind, you treat all women like they ain't shit. And because you're so emotionally immature, if you ever have a daughter, because you clearly don't have one, I hope you don't have one, you can't imagine any man wanting a woman to be confident with herself, because you don't want a confident woman. It's very, very sick and insidious, but it don't make sense, because every man that's involved in his daughter's life, let alone his son's life, they teach you, they want to raise you to be a Viking, a man. But if they're involved in a daughter's life, oh, no. You also a trained killer, but you're their perfect little princess too. You're their perfect little princess, you know? Listen, again, and don't get me wrong, it don't matter whether you got a dad, mom, aunt, sister, it don't matter who raised you. You just need to be raised in an environment of love. And I think a lot of people assume that if there's a dad in the house, there's going to be that love there. When sadly enough, that's not the case. Because look at half the men on the blogosphere. You can't be raised with love talking that shit. It don't even make any sense. It really don't. It really don't. Bunch of little kids, submit. You better submit to me. Little boy, go sit down. Go sit down. Anyway, Lori Wilkerson said, the message this sends, yes, love the message this sends to all involved. And also, Scatter 313 said, Pop said, walk your dogs. Don't let them walk you. Exactly. You better dog walk them. Exactly. Not the men, not the people treating you nice. And that's the thing I think the manosphere don't understand. Women can tell when men are playing in their faces. Those are the ones my daddy taught me. You better dog walk them. We're going to see who the bitch is today. However, I stumbled, but he had me every step of the way. I was like a fighter, right? And that knife round, I got my footing. He said, put back in. But my point of the matter is, but I think also the manosphere doesn't understand that, like, when you are worthy of respect, everybody gives you respect. Do you know what I'm saying? Everybody, and that's what they just don't understand. When we talk about dog walking, we talk about dog walking these little boys masquerading as men, not the actual men. When you find a man, when you find someone that reminds you of your daddy, all right, Captain, what we doing? Right? It feels good. You can finally relax, and be like, oof, I don't gotta worry about nothing. I don't even gotta worry about where my passport is. I'm just gonna like walk around this airport wandering. It is such a relief to actually trust your leader, but nobody gonna let you lead if you don't follow. But you know what? Anyway, we're not gonna get into this, right? Listen, we're not gonna get into the blogosphere, manosphere thing. Shout out to all the men doing what they need to do. Shout out to my daddy doing what he need to do. Shout out to the moms and my mommy doing what they need to do. Woo, at the end of the day, we got bigger problems. Like I said, how many days until the end of the year? 35. Y'all, we got 35 days to stop the men versus women war and get that shit together, because there's a lot of stuff that we need to be prepared for in 2025. We got 35 days, so you got to wrap it up and learn how to call a truce and a ceasefire. We got bigger fish to fry. Also, Mel Bethel said, hi, TT. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, sis. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes, Diddy is staying behind bars. You're speaking the truth. Diddy is 100%. Oh, really quick before I go, let me Google Diddy's Thanksgiving meal. Hold on. Diddy's Thanksgiving meal. This is the last thing I'm going to do before we go. And yes, I will be live on Thanksgiving. The Daily Express said, Diddy's terrible Thanksgiving day dinner, if his bail is denied again, he's gonna be eating sandwiches. They took a closer look. They said in his fourth bail. Oh wait, this was the fourth bail? No, I thought this was the third time. Oh, well, let me put fourth. And his fourth bid for bail is denied, depending on the federal justice's ruling. The disgraced music mogul will face a far from glamorous dinner in jail. The jail's Thanksgiving menu includes cereal and pastries for breakfast, lunch of turkey roast. Oh, this is an English paper. I'm like, turkey roast. A roast turkey with mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, and holiday pie. There's no stuffing? They already doing him dirty. For dinner, he will feast on, oh, you were right. Who said peanut butter and jelly? He will feast on peanut butter and jelly sandwich with potato chips. Hold on. Somebody said peanut butter and jelly early on. And I was like, girl, he ain't get peanut butter and jelly. You were right. Let me put you with a Summer Jam screen. Hold on. Who said peanut butter and jelly? Somebody said peanut butter and jelly. Tisa, we can't hear you. Mute it. Somebody said he feasted on peanut butter and jelly. I don't see your comment. Oh, here we go. Holly, you were the winner. Holly said he's having peanut butter and jelly for Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, Holly, I'll never doubt you again, girl. They said, okay, blah, 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 blah. Diddy. Yeah. Yeah, Diddy is having peanut butter and jelly for dinner. He's going to be eating cafeteria style. That means that he's not even going to have his own little, he can't eat in private. Do you think the people in jail are laughing at him? Like, yeah, you thought you were so big and bad, and now you eating peanut butter and jelly with the rest of us. Ooh. So where is it? Yeah. So basically he's going to have his Thanksgiving meal is going to be in the afternoon, because the actual people running the jail have to go home and eat with their families. So that's why they eat in peanut butter and jellies. They're probably going to leave them in a pile on the table and just tell them to grab one when you want. And it's going to be cafeteria style. Man, how the mighty have fallen. And don't forget, food is very, very important to Diddy. In Little Rod's lawsuit, and a couple of people in Kalina's lawsuit, they said that Diddy loved to starve the people around him and make them work with no breaks, while he would have lavish steak, lobster, like lavish things. Let's also not forget that Diddy, when he first got locked up, was trying to petition to get a nutritionist because he was afraid he needed like to eat better food in jail. Diddy really thought he had it. Woo! He thought he really had a live one. He really did, right? The super Christian, my world said, and Mark Agnafilio be like, Yana, why Yana? He's a good God-fearing man, Yana. Yana, he has what, Yana? Yeah, listen, that's Mark Agnafilio. Yana, it's Thanksgiving, Yana. Do you have a heart, Yana? He has 6 kids. Mark, shut up. He got 7 kids, Yana. This man, he used to be a choir boy, Yana. That's right. He goes to church every day, Yana. Meanwhile, did y'all hear about T.D. Jakes? Why is T.D. Jakes falling out in the middle of the proper? What bad news did T.G. Jakes get? Is he being sued? Did he get one of those letters? What is T.G. Jakes doing falling out in the pulpit? Let me just say something. T.D. Jakes was at a lot of Diddy's white parties, and he looked like he was having a good time. I remember when I used to see, be like, why is the pastor, and this before I knew that there were freak offs happening. I was like, why is the pastor pictured at a white party? And what did he say when people are like, why is T.G. Jakes at your party? Remember, he actually said, and T.G. Jakes was like, yeah, that's right. He's like, yo, that's my spiritual advisor. And we were like, you have your pastor at a white party, and that was his spiritual advisor. Was T.G. Jakes there? Maybe that's when the freak offs didn't happen, when T.G. Jakes was around. He was just like, the pastor here, just act like we be reading Bible study or something, Yana. Mel Bethel said some people don't even have peanut butter and jelly. Yeah, that's true. That is true. He best be glad you are in a warm place and you got food. Some people don't even have that. He best be glad. Oh, poor Diddler. She said, not exactly. That's right. Did he count your blessings? Because after all the dirt you did to people, and now the way people are being like, yo, so something was wrong, you might be safer in jail than out. I will say something, and just put this in your head. If nobody wants to rent to Justin, what are these news outlets trying to tell us? They've been known this, so why is it coming out now? Is charges coming in California? Did Justin do something? I think that Justin 100% is going to be named as a co-conspirator, but you know what? At the end of the day, Diddy's day got to end. Yo, shout out to the Diddler. Let's wait for his next PR campaign. I do want to say this last thing before I go. You guys, Diddy's not going to stop his misinformation. He's not going to stop his fragile ops from showing up. He's not going to stop his fragile ops from showing up, showing out, and doing the damn thing. Everybody, just please stay woke, verify everything, trust what people say if you want, but always vet to make sure that there is not just a grain, but heavy truth with it. And everybody stay safe. Everybody stay safe. And shout out to the people fighting the good fight. And shout out to everybody that literally, shout out to the prosecution. Shout out for clocking in. Shout out to Judge Aaron for literally, I really thought it was working. I thought he was going to let Diddy play in his face, but Judge Aaron came and said, you ain't playing in my face, and read him down, and basically gave Diddy enough rope to hang himself. And he did. And shout out to Diddy's arrogance, because most of all, more than a judge and more than the prosecution and more than anybody that filed any lawsuits, Diddy, I hope it feels good to know that the reason you are stuck in jail alone, looking at some turkey with no stuffing, turkey's disgusting too, with no stuffing, looking alone, doing nothing, I hope you feel stupid. Because the reason you're in jail right now, right this minute, is because your ego, your arrogance, your hubris. You flew too close to the sun, and those wings made of wax and feathers, baby, they melted off, lickety split, and you are now plummeting down. Not even to earth, you are plummeting down to the hell you created. So congratulations for reaping what you sowed, baby. Took 30 years, but the universe arc always bends to justice. Anyway, you guys, listen. Let me look at Teresa. Teresa said, I got to make my pies homemade. You know, Teresa, if you were my neighbor, as much as I suck my teeth, I'd be knocking on your doors being like, hey, girl, did you see my live? Come on, let's talk about Diddy. And I would come and get a few slices of pie. However, maybe I will always be is it Mrs. Smith? No, sorry, Marie Callender's. Sorry. We had Mrs. Smith, but then we upgraded to Marie Callender's when I was about 6 or 7. So not Mrs. Smith's pies, the Marie Callender's pies, the peach, the blueberry, the mincemeat, I don't like the pumpkin. I don't even like the sweet potato. Bring me a bean pie. Shout out to the Marie Callender's pies. Shout out, shout out, shout out. All right. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I will be live tomorrow for Thanksgiving. So if you guys don't have nothing to do, you're trying to ignore your family, your man, girl, children, whoever is getting on your nerves, or if you just want to laugh at Diddy, let me know. We are going to have a special live tomorrow. And since it's Thanksgiving, you know what? We're going to drop the link and let people call in. Let's have a Thanksgiving a laugh-a-thon and literally listen, Cali walk all over the grave that Diddy put himself in. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, you know what? As long as we don't got any fools in the audience, let's do a call in tomorrow. I think that'll be fun. And we can really say what we really feel about Diddy. All right. I will talk to y'all later. Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.